Hey, Danica. Hey, hey, hey. How are you, hon? All right, we're going to go. We're going to go. Here we go. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Angie's Angles. It is July the 18th in the year of my Lord 2024. Harold, what's going on? I am Interstate with Mark Brooks, my brother from another Clark. I am Tri-Interstate. Nick Triano representing a Delphi University alum. What's going on, Nick? We're going back to old school Angie's Angles. We will not be posting any graphs, any videos. I'm going to maintain my eyes on the comments. Drop questions, give remarks, say hello. Whatever it is you desire, I'm here for your disposal. So tonight we got a lot to cover. A lot to cover. The first thing is we're on the eve of the MLB season restarting. It's the halfway point, even though officially it really isn't the halfway point. We're a little bit more than halfway. As a matter of fact, what are we? We're 95 games into the season. We all know there's 162 games in the season. So 81 would be the official halfway point. But we always break it up by the All-Star game. And speaking about the All-Star game, let's talk about the Home Run Derby. All those in favor of the new format, raise your hand. You don't see me raising my hand. It was awful. Somebody's going to get hurt. You can't take those many swings consecutively, concurrently. It cannot happen. That wasn't a home run derby. That was, play bingo. Whoever gets the most out in 40 swings or 3 minutes is the goddamn winner. And what about those horrible uniforms? With the matching the colors of the caps with this new color scheme I see on these new cars that look like plastic hot rods from the plastic car. What is that called? With the track. Somebody help me with the name of that. It's escaping me. Hot rods or something like that. Is that not the same of it? I mean, the home run derby was just awful. Just awful. There was nothing to it. It was, and the guy that wins, really, he shouldn't have even won. God's sakes. It was a lot to do. Hot Wheels, right? Thank you, Harold. I love my audience. Never leave me standing alone. I love you guys. That's for you torch lovers. A little light up of the cigar tonight. I'm smoking the Perdomo Habana. It's a 20th year anniversary champagne series. If you're a smoker, I highly, highly endorse it. Highly. But even before the dreaded home run derby started, we had the national anthem. Sung by Ingrid Andress, I think her name was, who promptly checked herself into rehab. And now listen, addiction's a bad thing. Addiction's not to be made fun of, not to be poked at. It's a real thing. However, Major League Baseball's got to do a better job in vetting these people. I mean, come on now. She botched. She butchered. Fergie is having a party now that she's off the hook of having a bad performance. Ingrid Andress has been self-admitted into rehab. And thank you, Kevin. Let's do that. If you're watching via YouTube, please click the thumbs up, please. I need all the likes I could get, if you know what I mean. My flashlight keeps dropping on me, so I apologize for that. So thank you, Kevin, for that comment. I appreciate that. Ladies and gentlemen, if you can go to YouTube, subscribe. It's Angie's Angles 4121 at YouTube. Subscribe to my channel. Hit the thumbs up. Try to watch me, Harold. I see you're watching from YouTube. Mark Brooks, YouTube. I appreciate that. And I think, Clark, you've navigated into the 21st century and you found YouTube, my friend. I thank you. Officer Leonard's in the house watching via Facebook. Officer Leonard, next week, do me a favor and jump on YouTube. I'd greatly appreciate you. So, the home run derby, Pete was out on the first round. Thank God. Hallelujah. We don't need him pulling a quad or a deltoid or an altoid or an android. I mean, you know what I'm talking about. Clark, you're good, brother. You're on YouTube. We love you, Clark. Again, welcome to the 21st century. As a joke, back in the day, we bought my dad a Fisher Price camera. It was foolproof for my dad. However, he kind of still tried to mangle it somehow. But no, my dad, in all honesty, took some amazing pictures with his digital camera. He got to learn how to use it. And, not to bring the crowd down, but we found out that on the night that he passed, he was out snow blowing the snow. He took some serene pictures of nature, of the snow, of trees with the snow on. It was a heavy, heavy snow. And when we checked his phone, we found that he had clicked a couple of nature pictures. And if those were the last images that he saw before leaving us, then that brings me a little bit of comfort, right? Because, if you could go out with a smile on your face, I suppose that's the way to do it. All right. So we progressed to the All-Star game, and self-admittedly, I did not watch the whole game. I'm not an All-Star guy. I'm not an All-Star game guy. I'll watch an inning or two here and there. These pitchers are just really throwing as hard as they can. The batters are swinging as hard as they can. And you're going to have a run fest. You're going to have home run galore. You're going to have, a couple strikeouts, couple good plays, couple good hits. It's not what it used to be. It's not what it used to be, where they really played with pride, and they really wanted to win the game. Now it's all commercialized, like Officer Lennon is talking about. It's all propagandized. It's this dies, that dies. It just doesn't. It doesn't sit well. It gives me a little break. I watched baseball ad nauseum during the season, so it was a nice. It was a nice break. I did watch the Derby a little bit. Some of the shots were pretty majestic. Clearly skills are there. But, Mark, the American League won. The Junior Circuit won again. I think this is their 999th win against the National League. I don't know why that is. I mean, there's no pitchers, so that's out of the equation. They just seem to have our number in the All-Star game, so I'm not really sure. Right, Clark. These pictures, and let's put you up on the big screen, Clark. Clark Altman says if they want to cut down on arm injuries, then quit trying to throw the ball through a wall. Become pitchers and not throwers. Fair point. So, Kevin Elliott, you're going to go on the big screen. So, my friend Kevin Elliott down in Hollywood, Florida, he is truly a baseball savant. He rivals my love for the game, and Kevin spits out stats like he's spitting out Tic Tacs. He wants to mention Duran, or is it Duran? Who does he play for? Boston, I believe, right? So Kevin picked this guy to explode. He said he's doing. Hey, Tom. Dialing it in from Smoke Therapy. I appreciate you, Tom. Welcome back from Hawaii, my friend. It was nice to see you. So Kevin tracks these guys' streaks. He tracks their ups, their downs, and And I gotta give Kevin credit. He really brings a lot to the table. He could call a hot streak 9 out of 10 times. So Kevin, you're getting your comeuppance. It's a good job by you. We have conversations ad nauseum nearly every day, twice on Sundays, and at least 3 times from the backyard patio. So Kevin, good job by you. Let's go into the Mets break. It's pretty obvious that Pete Alonso's going nowhere. It would be almost self-sabotaging yourself if you were to trade Pete Alonso as you sit here right now, locked up in the third wild card seat. Half game behind the Cardinals and 4 games behind the Braves for the top seat, the National League wild card. The fact that the Mets are 4 games in the standings behind the Braves speaks volumes of the collapse of the Braves and the rise of the Mets. However, as I have preached ad nauseum to my faithful out here in front of me, I'm calling the Mets' recent run fool's gold. It is not sustainable. There's a lot of holes in the lineup. There's a lot of holes in our bullpen. And all trade rumors of us being sellers are now squashed as we sit secure in the third wild card team. You cannot dismantle a team having secured the wild card as it stands today. Plenty of baseball to play. Nick, you and I have talked about this. Nick Triano, let's pull you up on the big screen. Give me a nice sweep of Miami to start the second half. No excuse. You can't lose to them. Well, Nick, you and I have talked about this many, many times, how we went into Pittsburgh. We had a sweep them. We went into Washington. We had to sweep them. Now we're taking on the Marlins. We got to sweep them. It's easier said than done, Nick. As I take a nice, refreshing swig of my Guinness. You cannot bring out the ineptness of a team against the Mets, who seem to be clicking at the moment, because on any given day, any team can be beaten. And having the skanky shown us, right, Kevin Elliott? Kevin Elliott also called the demise of the Yankees in May. We're in July. We're on July 18th, and I guess it was May 20th, perhaps. Kevin Elliott called the Yankees implosion. So I give you credit on that, Kevin. The information that Kevin shares with me sometimes is a little too much, but most of the time he's right on the money, for sure. Yeah, Nick, we're playing the Skankies next week. We're hitting them at a perfect time where we're peaking and they're not. We did sweep them the last game that we played them. The last 2 games we took them. We could take them again. It's definitely doable. You just got to be cautious and not pitch to Soto and Judge. And the rest of the lineup's pretty easy. Pretty get-outable. Is that a word? Get-outable. We're at the 844 mark. So, some of you might have seen rumors. The New York Times, I posted on my Facebook site, is reporting that the jackal, the jackass, the horrible commissioner called Rob Manfred, is contemplating implementing the automated strike zone in spring training of 2025. No decisions have been made. There are still nuances to be ironed out. There are some technical difficulties. There's some, you got to, what's the word I'm looking for? You got to prime the machines. You got to temper them. You got to calibrate is the word I'm using. You have to calibrate the machines for different ballparks, different scenarios, different layouts, different batting stances, etc., 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 right? Not everybody's strike zone is the same. So you have to be able to do real-time in-game pruning, if you will. Not an easy feat to do, to accomplish as the game's progressing. You have to keep the integrity of the strike zone consistent. And Rob Manfred has stated, there is real no timetable. However, if he incorporates it into the spring training in 2025, they will not be ready until 2026 to go live in the majors. And that might even still be a stretch. Ladies and gentlemen, you know where I stand. You know where I sit. You know my thoughts on Rob Manfred. You know my thoughts on the rule changes. And you know my thoughts on the automated strike zone. This has been a very, very subdued Angie's Angles tonight for various reasons, but one that is the most obvious that we'll touch upon in the prayer circle. You know, Mark Brooks, Clark Oltman, let's do it. Rob Manfred hates baseball. Rob Manfred hates baseball. Rob Manfred hates baseball ad nauseum. There cannot be a worse man, woman, person, entity running the corporate game of Major League Baseball than one Rob Manfred. He's absolutely the devil in disguise. And here's another prognostication from Kevin Elliott. Alvarez and Vientos will have well above average final 60-plus games. Bader is due for his seasonal hot streak. Nimmo will be 30-100 guy, barring injury. Next 2 weeks, the Mets have decided McNeil's career with the Mets. That's direct from the horse's mouth, one Kevin Elliott. Nick, you echo my feelings. This clown looking into the automated strike zone, completely ruining MLB. What a joke. Couldn't say it better, Nick. Thanks for your input as always. The Mets stand at 49-46 with 12 and a half games off the Phillies, and like I said, 4 behind the Braves, both in the standings and in the wild card. We're a half game out of the second wild card from the Cardinals, and Clark, the fat, easy with the Bader injury comment, Clark, easy. Hey, West Coast Dave Prince, how are you, buddy? Welcome to Angie's Angles as always. West Coast, if you could do me a favor next week and try to log on via YouTube, and I'm going to type it in, Angie's Angles 4121 at YouTube. Put on the big board. All you guys got to do is go into YouTube, enter Angie's Angles 4121, and you'll get to my page. Thumbs up, like, comment, greatly appreciated. If you could do that, I'd greatly appreciate that. So, let's hide that. You know, Pete Alonso is sitting at 19 home runs, I believe. So we're a little bit more than halfway into the season. So he too will go on a hot streak. He's good to put up 10 home runs in 2 weeks. He's done it before. So that'll put him back on track to have another 40-plus home run season. 100 RBI season. And Kevin and I have had this discussion, this dilemma, this quagmire, if you will. Where do you replace those 40 home runs, 100 RBIs? Where do you do it? Sure, you can say Vientos. He's very capable from what he's shown us this far, and Kevin also called that. Kevin screamed from the rooftops of Hollywood, Florida, send down Beatty, keep Vientos. The Mets didn't listen. Kevin was proven correct. So this guy Kevin, if you know, let me know. I could hook you up with him. He's got a lot of insight into Major League Baseball. He's a Low Profito fan, big Low Profito fan, and I think he's a card-carrying Bobby Witt Jr. fan. Card-carrying, by the way, Kev. West Coast, I don't disagree. The Mets need to put up a... They got to come out of the chutes firing hard. They got to be hitting on all cylinders. There cannot be any jet lag. They got to play solid baseball, hit the ball, run the bases, pitch the ball, catch the ball. If you don't know this, Kevin Elliott comprised of 2/3 of the greatest outfield to ever play. Me in center, of course, because where else would I play? And Kev was in left field. 2/3, and then we had a rotating right fielder. But 2/3 of the greatest ever outfield to ever go out on a diamond. Oceanside High School, 1983. But you know, it brings good memories back. Great memories, as a matter of fact. We're gonna see what the Mets have. Yeah, Mark Brooks. Listen, Mark Brooks, I gotta tell you. While Danny is a tad faster than I ever was, nobody, and I'll repeat, nobody got a better jump on the ball than I did. If that ball was in my 3-foot perimeter circle, that ball was being caught. Whether I had to run to the fence, to behind second base, to left field into Kev's territory, to right field, it's there. So West Coast, you got to click on the live tab. Click on the live tab. That's where you'll find me. There's a bunch of tabs. Excuse me, my throat's acting up today. I think it's the pollen more than anything. So, you know, we're at the 8:53 mark. It's time for the prayer circle. We've had a somewhat subdued Angie's Angles because of the temperature and climate of the nation. I didn't have, I didn't think it's appropriate to go crazy. And we're going to touch upon that at the end. So let's go into my prayer circle. And Clark, you know, I was able to recap what you wanted me to add, so we'll cover that tonight. As always, we're praising for Harold, his Dawn Squared friend and his friend, his co-worker, his friend, and his wife Dawn, his friend Ed, and his great friend Carol and her husband Bob, as he's dealing with his time on dialysis. Scott Tobias, we're praying for your wife and your mom. Linda Stein, coming off the marriage of her son Danny. And Linda, you might not be watching, but if I could say so, you made a stunning groom's mom. You looked wonderful, Linda. We're also praying for your dad as he faces his daily challenges. Mark Brooks, my friend, you need to stay vertical. No more face plants, please. We're praying for your dad. And thank you for the update on Dominique. She seems to be doing well. She's blessed to be carrying a child. And so far, so good. Kevin Elliott, as you're facing your constant health challenges down there in Hollywood. Krause family, as Aubrey bravely faces every day fighting that cancer. And she has it in remission, people. Let's pray hard for them. Martha, my co-worker at Adelphi University, as you recoup from your surgeries. Clark, your brother-in-law Brad and sister Tricia, continue blessings on his prognosis. But now I hear he's dealing with a hernia issue, and they couldn't address it because his blood levels weren't at, up to par. But now that he's He's recouping and getting better. They're going to tackle the hernia issue. So, Brad, we have you in our continued prayers. Deb and Lee, we're praying for Lee's medical challenges down in Maryland. Fred, as you face your rotator cuff, and boy, I might be joining this rotator cuff prayer circle soon myself. Ray Capers, good talking with you today as you recover from your surgeries. Coach Courtney, your brother-in-law Calvin, and your sister Pat, we're praying for them. Mr. McGowan, sir, as you face the ugly C-word challenge, we have your six, my friend. Marion Bello, as we deal with your mom's health challenges out there in Las Vegas. Big John, my buddy in the cigar lounge. We're praying for Irene, cousin Richie, and Phil's Nona. Tom, we keep your friend Paul in our prayers as he battles his cancer treatments, and your mom just celebrated her 29th birthday. Happy, happy birthday, Tom's mom. We're praying for Scott's brother, Craig. We're sending prayers their way. We're praying for Jimmy, his friend Charles, his good friend Charles, his son Charles Jr., who's recovering from a liver transplant, 22 years old, and a good friend, a baseball friend, Larry Levy. When I found out just recently when I reached out to him for a private matter that his wife Frieda is herself battling cancer, undergoing chemo. Good days, bad days. I'm going to be seeing Larry Tuesday. And Angie's Angles family and friends send their love and their prayers to Larry and Frieda Levy. And lastly, as we hit the 857 number, folks, you see my social media. You know where I stand politically. And now we've got two issues in the election. We have the Republicans with Donald Trump being shot at, an alleged assassination attempt on Saturday. By the grace of God, the bullet missed. And now we're hearing that Joe Biden might be resigning. It's unclear whether he's going to remove himself from the re-election process and or the entire presidency. I have said this ad nauseum in the past that while I am not a fan of Joe Biden, I do feel that he's a huge victim of elder abuse, specifically by his family, specifically by Dr. Jill Biden. The man, whether you like him or not, dedicated X amount of years, almost a half a century, to public service. We're not gonna condemn him. We're gonna say thank you for that service. But it's obvious that his mental acuity is not up to par to be president, let alone a runner for the Congress in the chamber. He doesn't have it, and that's not his fault, right? Age catches up to all of us, and we don't know when that's going to hit us. Look what happened to Tom Seaver, Lyme disease, and that produced a mental breakdown on his part, and ultimately his death at a premature age. So we cannot control when our minds go. We cannot control Mother Nature. We cannot harness it. We cannot corral it. We have to accept it. And we have two candidates at the moment that are on, at the same point in their lives. We have an ex-president who's running for re-election who, by the grace of God, is still breathing today. And we have the Democratic president, incumbent, who's also running for re-election, rethinking his stance, whether he's physically and mentally capable of moving forward. So, I guess my prayer is for the nation. And those that are praising the shooter, and he will go nameless because he should not be famous. There were a couple of social media posts that said at least we got one of his supporters, and that's disgusting. Okay, that is not part and parcel of being American. And never mind being American, how about being a human being, right? And I'm not using Angie's Angles tonight for a political platform. You know where I stand. We should, as a nation, have two capable, bona fide, competent electors. One from the left, one from the right, Democrat, Republican. This nation needs a third party, and the Tea Party tried and failed. But the third party, I think, is very necessary to keep the Democrats and the Republicans in line, right? And whether we see that or not, that's to be determined. But you won't see me espouse, Joe Biden's demise. I don't want to see the man die. I want to see the man retire. I want to see the man enjoy his last years on this earth to the best of his capabilities, and being the world's leader with all the stresses and the pressures that go with that job. He's being denied that opportunity to sit on that pond and watch the swoons come in. We need prayer more than ever now, more than ever. I know the way I want to see things go, whether it will or will not. We'll still be here doing what I do here. Okay. So we're at the 9:02 mark. Mark Brooks, I gave you an hour and a half last week with Leo. I hope you all enjoyed that. I wanted to come back here. Thank you, Harold. I appreciate you. Thank you. I appreciate that, Harold. Yes, I know where you stand, my friend. I wanted to come back here this week, being that we don't really have baseball. The All-Star Game, the Home Run Derby, that was all for the commercials. That was for, to make a couple of shekels. We didn't really show off much talent. So I wanted to come back and reconnect with you. Oh, Bremoletta, I am Intercontinental. What's going on, Brett? Thanks for showing up. James Krause is in the house. So, I appreciate you guys all logging in tonight, dealing with my diatribe. It was a subdued event. Had Saturday gone sideways, I might not have even been here tonight because I didn't think it would be appropriate to be here. If one of the candidates got taken out. So with this said, it is 9:03. This has been Angie's Angles coming to you live from Smoke Therapy, 215 Ronkonkoma Avenue, Ronkonkoma, New York. Hello, Breezy. I say Breezy says hello, and I say right back at you. That's for you, Breezy. Brett, spread the word. Good night. God bless. I love you.